City of Stevens Point Historic Preservation Design Review Meeting, recorded May 28, 2024.
So in the absence of Chairperson Siebert as Vice Chair, I'll call the Historic Preservation Design and Review Commission meeting to order at 5 o'clock.
Start with roll call.
Roll call. So
Siebert is excused. Monk
here.
Christensen
Here.
Callahan
Here.
McFarland
Present.
and Malewski is excused. We have a quorum.
All right. So move to the second. A request from the City of Stevens Point to raise a structure located at 1200 Main Street, parcel ID consistent with Chapter 22.05.
Thank you, Chair. So, as I'm sure most of you are aware, obviously I didn't include a presentation today, more so because I'm assuming you guys are pretty familiar with the Shopko building, its location in the downtown. Obviously, for the last few weeks, months, years, there's been talk about what's going to be the future of the Shopko block. There's been, especially more recent conversations with the downtown targeted area master plan that city staff have been working on with Vanderwall and Associates, our planning consultant, talking about more what's this future vision for this Shopko block if and when there is development that occurs. So obviously, before there is any new construction on the Shopko block, there would need to be the demolition of the Shopko building itself. The requests for bids have already been sent out, and a selected group has been approved by both the City Finance Committee and Common Council earlier this month. Obviously, specific to the charge for you all as a commission, you're tasked with reviewing any demolition requests of buildings that are located within any of your historic districts. I did include the guidelines within the staff report. You know, I could talk honestly probably for hours about it. I'll keep it short and sweet and say it's my belief Shopko building is not historically relevant to the surrounding area. There's not any architectural details that would make it warrant for saving. The one example of many I could have gave was just fenestration pattern is one. You see on the north side of the building, east side of the building, west side of the building, it's just a solid blank wall. Compare that to most, if not all, of our buildings in the downtown that have a more proportional ratio of solids to voids being your windows, your doors, etc. So, that is one example of just the inconsistency that this building has in relation to the other surrounding buildings and within the broader downtown design review district. So staff would recommend approval, and I'd be happy to take any questions after the motion.
All right, so I move to approve the request from the City of Stevens Point to raise structure located at 1200 Main Street. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Doesn't really have a whole lot of architectural details. It doesn't hardly have architecture at all, so it's not a huge loss.
Okay. So I'm just kind of curious myself. I know it's nothing to do with the with historic preservation. I was just wondering about the units. Is there like any units that are like meant for working?
As far as
like
low
rent?
income versus market rate?
Yeah.
I don't want to obviously get into the specifics since it's kind of veering a little off course,
Yeah,
but in relation to the downtown targeted area master plan, those details are not squared away as far as market rate versus low income housing. And I'll just say maybe in relation to you guys as a commission, obviously any construction that happens here would have to go before you folks for consideration of a new building or buildings. So, the use won't necessarily be in your purview. That'll be Plan Commission Council, but obviously if there's any new
Yeah.
construction, you folks would have ample say-so for the design of the building.
For sure, yeah, I knew that, I was just kind of just curious myself. So, all right, any other discussion? All right, so, vote? That's the next.
All those in favor.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All righty. And then, next on the agenda, we have staff updates for the community preservation plan.
Yeah, so appreciate members of the commission, members of the public for attending the variety of different workshops that we've had throughout the month of May. I think all in all, it's been pretty informative for me as to, there were some pretty clear observations that I took from folks during those workshops, some things that surprised me, some new things that I've learned, which is couldn't ask for more, right? That's the purpose of those workshops altogether. So just wanted to provide an update more so as the next steps. At some point later this year, we'll have a more lengthy conversation about kind of the takeaways from the public engagement session and how they'll ultimately be incorporated into the draft planning document. But really in terms of next steps, now it's going to be an opportunity for me to sit down, draft the plan, and really kind of get cranking at incorporating all the ideas and suggestions that you folks talked about over the last few weeks. My plan is to get this document done, at least in draft form, by around Labor Day-ish. Could be a little bit before that, could be a little bit after that. My plan is once we get through that point, it's probably sometime after Labor Day is when we'll have a couple more workshops, community and focus and community focus, and then a more lengthy conversation specifically with you all as a commission about what are the recommendations, are there any changes that you as a group would want, are there things you would like added. So I don't know what's going to be the exact flow, if it's going to be public engagement community-wide first, then working directly with you folks, or vice versa. But like I said, kind of keep your mind set for September or so as to having a more lengthy conversation about the draft recommendations. And I'll probably split that into 2 meetings, just because, as folks know who attended the workshops, I mean, it's a lot of different topics discussed, and I'd rather break it into 2 meetings instead of having like a 3-hour-long commission meeting, because unless you guys really want to, but I don't expect so. So yeah, that's more just an update that, like I said, appreciate everyone for attending. Really happy with the turnout that occurred for each of those different workshops. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know over the next few weeks and months.
Okay.
My only suggestion, maybe just before to me, it wouldn't be a bad idea for this commission to actually see it twice. Once, just when you get your preliminary draft ready, just to kind of run it by us and see if there's anything before that gets shared with the public. Then
Sure.
take the public input, and then utilize that, and then bring back a final draft for us to take a look at, and probably be in real good shape by then. But
Okay. Yeah, I like
that
that
would be my
approach.
suggestion.
Yeah. And maybe ultimately our plan commission would have to
Sure.
sign off on this as well. So
Yeah.
I'll have to think a little bit more in terms of if we're going to treat them separate, or if we're going to have,
Sequence,
say, like a
joint.
joint
Yeah.
meeting between the two. But no, I like that. Nice. I'm all good.
All right. Well, I will
Be a record.
adjourn this meeting at 5:09.
This has to be a record.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.